My name is Ryan, and this tutorial on tuck turns was brought to you by Paw Prints Props for modular 3D printed props, where the heads can be used for poise, staff, and meteor hammer, and you can manipulate the weight and color of all the heads and handles on all of your props. So, to demonstrate today's trick, we're going to do a tuck turn, or what I prefer, chase the sun. I'm going to do hip reel, shoulder reel, hip reel, shoulder reel, hips, shoulders, hips, shoulders. And I break this trick down into just a little bit of spinning practice, and then shoulder reels and hip reels, and then we put it together into Chase the Sun. So first I want to go over something I consider fairly important, which is this pivot onto the ball of one foot when you face this way, and the ball of your back foot to face this way. So for the first trick, we're going to be facing fairly dramatically, doing full 90-degree turns, and from the second and third tricks, and for Chase the Sun, you'll be doing more of a 45-45 angle here instead of here. So first, we're going to learn to just do a spinning pattern. So we're going to go on this side and spin forward. I'm going to count on down beats, going 1, 2, 3, and on 4, you're going to sway in front of you like this. So on this side, we're spinning away from our eyes towards the ground on top, going down like this, and then we're going to sway. On this side, we're going to come up towards our eyes so they pass from eye to ear. And once you've gotten here, you can practice until you can remove the swaying motion. So you could do a count. So from here, you could go 1, 2, and on 3. Just kind of stop, get back to where you're going, and then eventually you can remove that and go 1, 2, 3, 4. Just cross the bottom and back up. What's happening here is we're going from wheel plane. Think you are a chariot, these are your wheels, or there's railroad tracks on the ground here, and both poi are split on separate tracks. And from here, you're going onto the front wall plane, so they'll both be on the same railroad track in front of you. And when you come to this side, they're actually splitting again. This one was in front, and now it's in back. So split railroad tracks, wheel plane, wall plane, wheel plane. And then you're going to go from here, you're spinning up towards your face, and this is going to seem really disorienting because whenever you shift perspective, this rotation seems opposite. So if I'm facing this way, it's spinning up towards my face, I could look at it and say it's going clockwise. And if I walk around it, now it's going counterclockwise. For me, obviously it didn't change at all for you. So when you do the trick, there's a tendency to stop and spin the other way. And you don't want to do that. You want to make sure that you are just continuing the momentum and sort of ignoring the illusion. So you'll go from here, across the bottom to here. And there's no fancy swaying trick. There's no way to slow down gravity much. So give yourself some big, long arms, like straight arms, no elbows. And think about coming up as high as you can to just go on the front wall plane and split up on the other side again. And so you can do, it's called a superset. So you do a 4 count on both sides, doing this transition to here and from here to here, and then 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, 1, and then just start doing these spins here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, now 3, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 2s, 1, 2, 1, 2, and now beat across the bottom, beat across the top, beat across the bottom, beat across the top. Doing that pivoting, dragging across the bottom, and I haven't really gone over this much, but here's how most people are going to hold poi. So you got the tethers there, close your hands, hold it like keys. Okay, so that maneuver there just teaches you a little bit about planes and gets you kind of familiarized with spinning. And I just want to also point out that we are spinning in together time, same direction. So both poi are spinning the same way. Think clockwise or counterclockwise, going the same way. And they share a downbeat, so they're passing the ground at the same time. So beat, beat, beat. So now we're going to do a shoulder reel. So we're going to continue to spin this way, across the bottom to this side. So 3, 4, and from this side now, we're going to add the shoulder reel. So you're going to, you can just slap your back, or try to stall down so that the poi momentum stops. Turn and send them back out. You can go across the bottom with the same transition as before, and now you can drop them both behind you again, however works best. Turn and send them out. Do another superset here, just removing extra beats from here and here, until eventually you're doing it with no beats there, going across the bottom to the shoulders, across the bottom to the shoulders. And what's happening is, I call this front wall plane, so we'll call this back wall plane. And both poi on the shoulder reel spin behind you. If you look up, if you're afraid of the poi being behind you, you can look up and you'll feel a lot more secure, in my opinion. You can look up and see them swing out like that. So you can kind of work that for a little while, and then move on to the hip reel. So I didn't really demonstrate these finger pointer, finger guns, lasers, or scooping hands, but for the shoulder reel we just did, you can imagine pointing in a direction away from you, and then down and out, across the bottom. Down, out, and across the bottom. And so now we're going to use that. I think it's more important for the hip reel, because this one's incredibly counterintuitive with what the wrist has to do. So we're going to start pointing out like this. Going to come down, point up, and out. And then up and around. That's that transition we did before. To here, up and around, to here. And so really, really pay attention to this idea of your palms going towards the ground and doing a rotation. So now they're facing up, and then they're facing down again. Do that a few times because it's going to make this part make a lot more sense. So I also want you to practice it one hand at a time. So we're going to start here, and I'm going to just kind of ghost with this hand and follow. So from here, spinning forward like we started, on 4, 1, 2, 3, I'll go behind me and out. And something that can help with that is you can come up into this big chicken wing, give yourself more time, but that's just a suggestion. Try it without that first. You can go up and across the top, to the hip, and out. Across the top, hip, and out. Now that you've done that with the right hand on the back, so now you can do left hand on the front. And this is the weird one for most people. So you'll be spinning on the front wall plane, go behind you, and come out. And now it's on the back wall plane. You come up and over the top, 3, 4, back, and you can go over the top. 3, 4. So, with that, I want you to pay attention to this idea that both poi are on the back wall plane during the hip reel as well. So you're going to have a beat here, a hip reel, a beat here across the top. Beat, hip, beat, across. Beat, hip, beat, across. So 1, 2, 3, 4, behind you and out. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can probably remove that actually. And then on 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, here, 1, here, and then just the hips and across the top. Hips all the way across the top. So once you can do this pattern here, and this is where I pointed out that the pivot becomes a little more minimized. I am not as drastically reorienting, although I kind of like to. And so now you can go ahead and start doing beats here, into a hip reel, extra beats here, into a shoulder reel, extra beats, hips, extra beats, shoulders, and remove the extra beats until eventually you are doing this guy here, tuck turns or chase the sun. Both poi are in together time, same direction. And with that said, I'm going to get to editing. Thanks for watching. Thanks, Drex, for making an awesome channel and awesome resources for people. Enjoy your quarantine, and yeah. From now until next time, have a good everything.